Hello everyone, welcome back to Sai Homeschool. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Last class we discussed functional group present in organic compounds and homologous series. Now we will discuss nomenclature. Nomenclature means name itself indicates naming. Nomenclature means naming of organic compound. So nomenclature, so we already know there are a crores of organic compounds around in the nature. So without knowing the names of those organic compounds, how do you know the properties and chemical reactions? How we will study about those if they don't have names? Imagine people around us all are having their names. If there are no names, only male and female if you keep, what will happen? We don't know how to talk about each and everything, how to know about each person. So that here also like that, there are a crores of organic compounds we cannot able to study in a single name. Variety of these organic compounds. So that naming for those organic compounds are very important. So then it is easy to understand about those organic compounds, right? So and also it helps to identify their names. That is very important. So that very important is nomenclature is very important in this organic compounds. So here carbon compounds having, we already know there is a functional group present in the organic. Based on those functional groups, how we should name the organic compound. So this naming, we will also call it as IUPAC nomenclature. So IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. That is, so this is very important to know the nomenclature, to know, to study the, to avoid the confusion about these organic compounds. We can read separately each and all organic compound. So we already know some functional group present in the organic compounds, that is chlorine, fluorine, then methyl and bromine. So if you observe here prefix and suffix. So while writing the nomenclature, we should know the some rules to name the organic compound. So why means without knowing the rules, we cannot able to give the IUPAC names for those organic compounds. So now in all over the world, so what according to the rules, the name given to the organic compound, so it will be based on some rules. That is, first it is we should know that here only few rules we will study in the 10th standard chemistry. Remaining deeply we will read at the 11th and 12th standard. So here we'll study some basic rules to give the name of organic compound, that is nomenclature. So this nomenclature includes first, it includes three names. That is, first it is first name, we will call it as a prefix, then middle name and last name. It includes first name, middle name and last name. First name it is, we will call it as a prefix, then middle name it is word root, then last name it is a suffix. How our names it will be, we can take one example. It is any names, initial we will get first, no? So it is N, Likita, Sai we will take. So N is the first name, L is the middle name, then Sai last is the last name. Like that here in organic compounds also one role, that is the name includes three names. It is first names, middle name and last name. First name we will call it as the prefix. Second name, middle name we will call it as the word root. Then final it is a last name we will call it as a suffix. Always prefix means it is a first. We should write prefix always. First we should right? Middle name at the middle. So first name, how we should write, we will see. So there is a functional groups present, this chloro, fluoro, methyl and bromo. If it is present, this is Cl is nothing but what we will write, already last class we will discuss, that is chloro. So if it is Cl functional group, it will be present, that is chloro. This is fluoro. This is methyl. This is bromo. Okay. So if you find these groups in an organic compound, you should write the name prefix. Prefix it is means first name you should write in the organic compound. Then second rule, it is the three names, it is prefix, word root and suffix. First it will be, first rule it will be organic compound, it should have must first name, middle name and last name. First name is prefix, middle name is word root, last name is suffix. That is, this you should know that. So if these functional groups will be present, then you should write it as a prefix first in the organic compound. Then second rule you should know that. Second rule is, so based on the number of carbon atoms. So the number of carbon atoms should be mentioned as a word root. So prefix you have studied. Now word root it is number of carbon atoms. We already know one carbon atom it will be present. It is meth. Two carbon atoms. Last class we studied number of carbon atoms. How we should give the names based on the number of carbon atoms. If two carbon atoms it is present eth. Three carbon atoms it will be present pro. Four carbon atoms it will be present, that is called but, right? Five carbon atoms it is pent. Six carbon atom it is X. Seven carbon atoms it is hept. Eight carbon atoms it is act. And nine carbon atoms it is nan. So these will be number of carbon atoms we should be written as a word root. That is middle name of the organic compound. Then it is suffix. If you come to the suffix, again, here the functional group present should be mentioned as a suffix here. Functional group, what are the functional groups it should be present? To write the suffixes, remaining last class we studied, that is OH group. OH group it is present, we should write as a suffix, we should write OL. Then if it is a aldehyde, we already know formula is CHO. So if it is aldehyde present, suffix we should write is AL. If it is oic acid, carboxylic acid, it will be present. So formula we should write is COOH. So if carboxylic group is present in the organic compound, that we should write as a suffix, that is oic acid. Now you got some clarity about to write the prefix, and these it should be write as a prefix. These functional groups present in the organic compound, that you should write as a suffix. So this is the basic information you should remember to understand the organic naming of organic compounds. So this nomenclature is very easy if you understand these basic rules. So that is one, it is present. So suffix we should write, that is O, alcoholic group, aldehyde group and carboxylic group. So I will take one example. So CH3, CH2, CH2Br if I take. So what we should write first, if it is a bromo present, bromine present, what we should write? Bromo. So bromine present means you should write a first name, right? So it is the bromo. Bromine present as a, here it is a prefix or prefix. So you should write the first name of the organic compound. Then what you should write? Number of carbon is a word root. Word root means middle name. How many number of carbon atoms here? 1, 2, 3. So if the 3 carbon atoms present, what we should write? Pro. Right. So that is pro. Now you should understand how to write. One it is a prefix. One it is a word root. Okay. So if it is having, and one more thing you should remember, carbon atoms having a single bond. What we should write? ANE. To this we should write ANE. So if it is a carbon-carbon double bond, it will be present in the organic compound. Then we should write a ENE. If carbon, here it should be carbon-carbon having a double single bond. So here ENE, when we will write carbon-carbon having single bond in the organic compound. So YNE, it is carbon-carbon having a triple bond. Then you should write a YNE. Okay, so in this organic compound, what we had taken example. So it is having, we already got it. 2, it is what we should write here. All the carbon compounds having a single bond. So we should write ANE. So before going to write the ANE, we should understand, we should give the numbering for the carbon atoms. Why means sometimes it may attach functional groups to the any carbon atom. So that you should know the giving number to the carbon atoms. So we will study, that is the another rule, that is count the number of carbon atoms in this chain and start giving a number to the carbon atom. So while giving the number to the carbon atoms, how we should write? From this side we should write one first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, or from this side we should write 1, 2, 3, like that we should give. That is very important. So where the functional group will be present. So which carbon the functional group it will be present, that you should give a least number. So you should start from that number. So 1, 2, so that I'll give the numbering from this side where the functional group present, that should be the least number. So if it is present here, you may give this from this side. This should get least number. So functional group where it will be present, that carbon atom should get least number. Okay, now it is, we should write where the bromine is attached. It is 1 bromo prop, 3 carbon atoms, all are having single bonds, that is propane. So this is very important. Now you got the name for this organic compound. It is 1 bromo propane. So this is very important to know. So if it is prefix, it is there suffix for this carbon chain OH, either maybe CHO or COH, any these 3 groups present in this organic compound? No. So that no need to write the suffix here. If it is there OH or maybe CHO or maybe COOH, then you should write a suffix. Either if it is contain alcoholic group, you should write last suffix OL. So if it is having a OH group instead of bromine, you will get propanol. So if it is having a CHO group, then it is propanol. So if it is oic acid, carboxylic acid, COOH group present for this, then you will get a propanoic acid. So you should write oic acid for the carboxylic group. That is, here you should write oic acid when it is organic compound contains a COOH group. So this is very important and basic rules you should know to write the nomenclature of organic compounds or naming the organic compounds. So first rule, it is what we said. First rule, you should know to write the names, that is 3 names. It includes first name, middle name and last name. First name is prefix. So prefix means it contains these functional groups: fluorine, fluorine, methyl and bromine groups. Then it is write a suffix. It is a first name. So word root what we will write based on number of carbon atoms. It is meth, it is eth, or prop, or but, or pent, ept, ex, ept, oct, and pent. It will be present. Then suffix it will be prefix done. Word root then it is suffix. Suffix it is OH or maybe CHO or maybe COH. We'll see some examples to write these names whether it is a prefix or suffix. So allo, alkane it will be present. Chloro or maybe bromo. So if you observe here CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. So what is our rule? First rule it is you should write the here it is a prefix or suffix. Chlorine, if it will be present above we studied, if the group or functional group is chlorine, then it is the prefix. So what we should write here it is chloro. So that is chloro. Then you should write word root means middle name what we should write. Count the number of carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atoms we have here. You should write a pro. Then find the carbon-carbon bonds, whether it is alkane, alkene or alkyne. So all carbon atoms having a single bond around it, then it is a ANE. So the name now it is chloropropane. Same thing above this example we studied bromopropane. So it is bromine functional group, it is the prefix. Then 3 carbon atoms we should write a pro. All carbon atoms having a single bond, that is ANE, bromopropane. Then suffix, how to write suffix, we'll see some examples we said above. No? So alcohol group present. So if it is an alcoholic group, that is OH, right? Alcoholic group above we studied OH group present as a functional group in the organic compound. What we should write? Suffix as a OL. So here if you see the example, OH will be present here, that is alcohol group will be present. You should write this as a suffix, right? Suffix means last name. So first what you should write? You should write the word root. Word root it is prop. It is propanol, OL. Propane it is, propane it is. So it has in the OH group. So if it is alcoholic group, we should write suffix as a OL, then it is a propanol. Then if you come to the aldehyde group, it is CHO group it is present. So that is aldehyde. So above we studied, if aldehyde group present, you should write as a suffix, that is AL. So if you observe this, here is the functional group, that is CHO. So here 3 carbon atoms propane. Then what we have to remove E, then we should write this suffix, that is AL. So 3 carbon atoms propane it is, remove E, instead of E what we should write? That we should write AL, propanol. Then keto group it will be present. C double bond O. Keto group present in the organic compound. That is, I should write the ONE suffix it is. So here propane, remove E, and what we should write here it is propanone, ONE, we should write remove E. So above here one rule that if it is a AEIOU form, it will be present, then you should remove the E, that is AEIOU. Then name of the carbon chain modified by deleting a final E, that is it is the propane. We should remove E and we should add ANE. Here propane it is. So remove E and you should add a OL like that. So then carboxylic acid, already we studied carboxylic acid means it is COOH group. So carboxylic acid groups present means what we should write the name while writing functional group, that is OIC acid, above I said. So here it is the functional group present here, COOH group. So what we should write? We should remove the E and we should write it is 3 carbon atoms. It is propane. propane, E it comes, remove the E and you should write a propanoic, oic acid you should add, it will become a propanoic acid. Then alkenes. So we studied alkenes means it will be in the form of carbon-carbon having a double bond. Here if it is a double bond having, but it is not to the between the carbon atoms. It is carbon and having oxygen. You should not write here it is the alkene group. You should not write here also and here also. It is having a double bond between carbon and oxygen. It is not double bond between the carbon and carbon. So if it is alkenes, we already know carbon-carbon having a double bond. Then we will call it as a alkenes. So suffix what we should write? ene. So alkyl it will be present. We know already carbon-carbon having a triple bond. So here you don't get confused. Here it is having a double bond between the carbon and oxygen. Here we have alkenes means it is a carbon-carbon having a double bond. So if you see here, so there is a double bond. So number of carbon atoms present. First you see whether the functional group prefix it will be present or suffix it will be present. So middle name, then word root how it should write. So there is no prefix and suffix. There is no functional groups here. What here it comes means carbon-carbon having double bond. 3 carbon atoms that is propene. ANE it comes means it will become a alkane. So here it is alkane. So you have to write ENE. Same thing here it is if it is alkyne carbon-carbon having a triple bond, then it is write a YNE. So if you observe here carbon-carbon having a triple bond, so 3 carbon atoms it will be present. It is propyne. So these rules are very important to understand the nomenclature of organic compounds. So where we should write, so which functional groups it will be present, we should write prefix, where we should write suffix. And while writing the name suffix, we should remove the E and we should write OL, AL and OIC acid based on the functional groups present in those organic compounds. So these things are very important to understand the nomenclature of organic chemistry. So and also it is easy to know in the 11th and 12th class if you understand some basics in this class 10 nomenclature. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel.